So I'm Rebecca Gonzalez. I'm the CEO of Orange Marketing. We're a top 10 diamond partner. And today I'm going to be presenting to you or talking to you about AI is quietly killing your clients' pipelines, how buyers decide without you, and the playbook to get back on the short list. We're going to have case studies and actual what to do, what not to do, and playbooks. At the end, there's a QR code. I'm looking right at you, you poor thing. At the end, there's a QR code, and you can download the playbooks and the slides. The slides are really detailed, and so the slides will be included. So just to go real quickly, why am I talking to you about AI? In 2024, Orange Marketing's SEO plummeted, and that's their organic search. From 23 to 24, it plummeted, and we rely on inbound leads. They're very important to our business, and we were shocked, and we had to quickly start researching what was going on and what had happened, and it was zero-click searches, which is the culprit for everybody. So we all know that. We researched AI and AEO and tried to figure out how we could stop the bleeding, and we've had some success with our clients. So very quickly, what broke? Everyone knows what broke. AI reduced web clicks overall. SEO traffic is down 30 to 50%. PPC isn't working anymore. You can't just buy your traffic. Even retargeting audiences are too expensive. On the bright side, we've seen that AI leads convert much higher and much quicker than traditional inbound leads do. On the sales side, inbound leads are drying up because the traffic is gone. Our marketers are just not delivering stuff to our sales teams. And the outbound response rates are at an all-time low. Email is terrible. People are inundated with cold prospect emails, and the direct pipeline or unknown leads is actually up, meaning people are just coming to you and you have no idea where they're coming from or what drove them. So how AI decides who to recommend, what AI trusts. AI trusts industry publications and news coverage. It trusts reviews, so G2 reviews, Capterra reviews, any reviews you have. Orange Marketing gets reviewed by HubSpot, and conference speakers, event coverage, blog posts about your event coverage and of that nature, and then external testimonials and partner mentions. And so case studies and external testimonials on other sites. AI actually largely discounts own self-promotional content, so which is sad. That's your website. So if your website says we're the best of this or that, AI discounts it. AI doesn't ask who has the best website, it asks who other people trust. We have a case study, Amber Data. They sell crypto data to financial institutions, and they never lost their organic traffic. They get a ton of traffic anyways, and it just kept growing and growing through 25. This is new contacts, pretty much grow or flat all the way through 25. And the reason is we had to take a close look at, it was so perplexing. Why weren't they hit the way everybody else was? It wasn't because they had so much money. The CMO had an earned media focus. He went out of the gate getting his founder on podcasts, giving them speaking opportunities. He partnered with key publications. He put his company, he would, rather than buying Google, he would buy placements in key publications on key websites. He invested in thought leadership, and he also utilized, hello, welcome. He utilized regional trade shows. Come on up to the front. He used regional trade shows and ensured his team members had speaking events and made sure they had speaking places, and they promoted it like crazy on their website and on the conference websites. So he never lost that organic traffic that everybody else lost. And these are just some examples. You'll get the slides of all of the things he was doing during that time frame. Another case study is a company called EI3. They're kind of an Internet of Things type company. And we already know what what AI ignores. It ignores your website copy. It ignores your marketing assertions when you don't have third-party proof. It, of course, can't see your paid advertising, and it can't read your gated content. So AI is busy ignoring all of this. This company had terrible problems with, this is sessions, organic search, and also referrals and AI referrals. And this is 24, this is 25. This is contacts 24 and 25. They had everything wrong. They were having just terrible problems. And what they did a huge pivot where they went to open FAQs. They did implement website schema, detailed different types of website schema. They experimented a lot with prompts and what would get them, what their customers would ask in AI and what the answers were. And they made sure they had good FAQ pages, good open pages of content, not so much gated content. And they really, really played around with AI queries, trying to understand what people were asking out there. We use a tool called AI Trust Signals. It's a tool from a guy named Marcus Sheridan. He was a huge HubSpot guy back in the day, and he's a big conference speaker. And what it does is it uses an algorithm, and it runs your client's website through prompts, through AI, and comes up with a ranking, for example, using things like, do you have schema? Do you have a published phone number? Is the phone number consistent? Do you have a published address? Just all the things that AI would look for to trust you. Do you have testimonials? Do you have reviews? And they created their own arbitrary score, but it's very, very helpful, as any score is. It's really the improvements or the decreases in the scores that matter. So these guys went from a 60 to a 71 in a matter of a few months. We don't have a client who's in the 80s yet, including ourselves, so I think their scoring's a little tough. But we use that as a way to show our clients that we're improving, and it's cheap, it's inexpensive.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
Without getting into too much detail, could you tell us a little bit about the schema?
Yeah, so schema is a big pain. So schema is something that existed back in the day. Everybody used it to do geographical-based SEO searching. So it's popular again. And so we all ignored it because we didn't need it anymore. AI is very dependent on it. And so there's tools. AI is, the gold rush. People have made schema tools to insert schema into WordPress and into HubSpot websites. We have a couple partners who have done that. And it's basically code that tells the AI what to read and how to read it and what you've got on your site. And so it just organizes the data better, and it works. It's shocking that it works. So they went down this path real hard. Yeah. So one of our recommendations is to test natural prompts in AI. Your prospects are, researching vendors right now with AI tools. We suggest to people, and that's what we did with this company, EI3, you basically set up a spreadsheet, you set up what you think your prompts are, you set up a column that's ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude, and you test it in incognito mode and see what competitors are recommended and see which, if your company comes up at all. And you do this once a month with some regularity. And then, hopefully you have a marketing admin who can do it, but then you'll be a rock star. There are tools that basically do this for you and track improvements or decreases. They're very expensive. We had one, they're like $200 and $300 a month. And so you can kind of just caveman in and do it yourself a little bit to actually track. And this is an incognito search for who is the top recommendation for fractional marketing leaders for mid-market B2B companies. Chief Outsiders literally comes up #1 incognito, no matter how many times I put it in.
But ironically, it's almost all our own website that they view this because it's not a crowded.
Yeah, no, and I put it in exactly the way Chief Outsiders words it. I was not playing around.
When we did the same in another session right now, like live, we did it all.
Oh, nice. I would never do it live.
Then it came up frame again, and we asked it, like, why do you think is the case, et cetera. And
because we said so.
Research, but then it said in 5,000 awards and customer, at least that it gave us the third-party proof.
Pete it is a very good website, the Chief Outsiders website, and the credibility, having all the Chief Outsiders on there with the LinkedIn profiles, all of that adds trust. All of it adds trust. I kind of looked at it again, and I'm like, it's really good. The fix, what both groups should do now. So starting with marketing, of course. Are you guys both marketing or are you sales? Marketing. Okay, so let's start with marketing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is old is new again. So some of us have been around the block and we've seen PR agencies and we know what they do. And so it turns out, we were out buying our traffic for the last 5 years. Now it's not working as good. The things that work with AI are media relations, getting clients into industry publications. It's not as hard as you think. Usually you can place calls and get things done if your client's writing good content, which you can help them do. Review collections and case studies are really, really important. There's the big sites, G2 and Capterra, I think, essentially merged, but there's Trust Radius. In our space, it's HubSpot's partner directory. We have 151 five-star reviews. So wherever the review mechanism is, it's really important. It's really important to be crawlable. AI is definitely using that. They're definitely reading HubSpot directory. Speaking slots are really good because the conferences publicize the speakers. The conferences are trusted out there, and you get really good cross-linking benefits. Strategic partnerships, if your client is a distributor, or if they're a reseller, or they are a wholesaler, or they have different people that they're in business with, they could work with these partnerships and promote your content. You can promote their content. You guys can work together, and it will help you. And then analysts report, and it could be analysts in your specific industry. Gartner, we know they're reading Gartner. Of course they are, KPMG, Deloitte, but there's other analysts, there's industry associations, there's other credible sources that AI can read. And so that's literally what we recommend. We do have one interesting case study. We have a client, Funnel Clarity. They sell sales coaching, and they have doubled down on AI. They had a very funny thing happen that I argued with them about. On a call with me, they said that, hey, HubSpot reached out to us, and they want us to put their link on our site, and they'll put our content on their site. I said, HubSpot called you and wanted to do this. Yeah, HubSpot called us. And I said, send me the email. So they sent me the email. It's definitely a call center in the Philippines, but at the end of the day, it really was HubSpot. They really did it. And it was my only viral post on LinkedIn, 132,000 impressions, 140 comments, half of them mine, and then 30 reposts. And the hook was HubSpot's cold emailing people about link building. Let me say that again. HubSpot is proactively reaching out about link exchanges. And if HubSpot, the end of the post is, if HubSpot's doing it, we all have to be doing it. So people were violently arguing, is this real? Is this really happening? Because HubSpot has such credibility out there. Why would they be doing link building? They're doing it because they know. And they're trying to own everything. And they're in a lot of new spaces. So it's interesting that this was a sales content company. So they battle Salesforce. So it's not surprising that they did this.
This is that search authority team, like at the standard in the email.
Oh yeah, yes. Search authority team at HubSpot. Yeah. No, it was definitely a call center, and eventually he reached a HubSpot person. He went all the way through and did the link exchange. So I couldn't believe it. They were slaughtered by organic problems, and we've somewhat stopped the bleeding, and they're doing really, really good. They're implementing AEO techniques, which is Schema, open content. They redesigned their menu to be a little bit more AI friendly, and they're getting in some really good AI leads. Yeah. So another case study, sponsoring industry newsletters. Of course, I pay really close attention to HubSpot. This is another LinkedIn post I noticed. They reached out to some young lady and said, hey, can we sponsor your newsletter? And so they're out there hustling, getting, typically when you sponsor a newsletter, there's a sponsorship page. It ends up being a link exchange. Email is very good mechanism, and people's email list is a very good mechanism for getting your name out there. Email is like owned media. It can't emphasize enough that you should work on your email strategies too. But it would be very simple for your client to look around for your client, find newsletters in your industry space, and ask if you can sponsor them. And I was just telling Corel that I recently reached out to a podcast that I think is aligned with us. And I said, can we sponsor your podcast? And she's like, yeah, for $1. So it's super cheap. And she's going to have a sponsorship page, and it's called Corporate Gossip Podcast. And it's good. So I definitely practice what I preach here. And these opportunities are available, but you kind of got to be creative. So for sales leaders, we'll go over that quickly. I'm just kidding. But basically, they need to stop mass cold outreach without proof. All of that spamming, prospecting. I think you guys as chief outsiders, you probably get 10, 15 emails before you wake up in the morning that are all poorly written. It's very rare that they grab your attention and stop you cold in your tracks. They're very terrible. And so what the recommendation is in these cold emails, and a lot of times as a marketing team, we write sequences for salespeople. Make sure you have a little bit of third-party proof. Make sure you have a little bit of a testimonial, something in there that hooks them a little bit. And then sales leaders are making a mistake if they rely on disappearing inbound because it's just not there. So what do they need to do? They have to work with marketing big time. They have to weaponize their customers into public reviews and testimonials and support marketing when marketing says, hey, who would be good for a testimonial or case study? They need to help. Their event presence is super important. They can't just show up and stand at a table. They need to speak. They need to be on the conference website. The marketing team needs to be promoting them. Their outbound has to have proof, third-party mentions. And the most important thing, and you guys may have experienced this, but pre-validation, when the prospects reach out to you, you already have been pre-validated via AI and you have more credibility. It is a different sales process, which we're going to talk about really quick here. So case study Reveille, this is an Orange marketing case study. We had a case study. It's very important for Orange marketing to say, we migrate from Eloqua, we migrate from Marketo, we migrate from whatever. We didn't have an Eloqua case study because none of them want to admit they left Eloqua and went to HubSpot. So we finally wrote an anonymous one. And this gal basically calls into us, says she basically ChatGPT'd what HubSpot agency has experienced with Eloqua migration. 2 came up. And I've tried this myself. 2 come up. This automation strategy group, an elite partner, they're massive, and little old Orange marketing. She clicks on the case study, and the case study describes migrating Eloqua, Salesforce integration. She shows her boss. They get us on the phone. They closed rather quickly, and they never negotiated. And I'm like, I should have priced that higher. They never negotiated. They wanted they had needs. They wanted an accelerated time frame. They just wanted to get going. So that was very interesting to me about case studies. And then the next case study I'll give to you is a company called WindSafe Hurricane Protection. We're B2B, but this Florida company that basically sells hurricane stuff for your house filled out a contact us form at 6 my time. I was walking a couple of Huskies, and it said, I have on the form, how'd you hear about us? And he's ChatGPT. And I'm like, huh. Because you can't always rely on your CRM to sniff out that it was from chat, because a lot of times they hear it in chat and then they Google it. Yeah, so Google is always like last touch, right? Google. Anyways, he's like, oh, so I call him because I'm just walking the dogs. We chat. By the end of the day, he closes, because what slayed me, honestly, is he asked ChatGPT about pricing. We happen to transparently price our products out on the website. We actually have open pricing, which is very unusual for a HubSpot agency. I have advisors telling me to stop doing that, but I won't. And he went for, I need to spend $10,000, and he started dialing for dollars, and I happened to call him right back, and he was happy to go. He was happy to go. So they're farther down the funnel. They've already done their research. So sales leaders' key learnings: AI-created leads must reach sales with top priority speed. So they have, in our opinion, and this is all opinion right now, it's such an evolutionary landscape, the sales team needs to know they came from AI. Like if you have a field on your contact form where you're asking, or the origin is AI, the sales team has to know, and they have to be trained that these people are different. They have been in the God ChatGPT, and the ChatGPT said your company's name, that is credibility. Even though it's fake, that's credibility right there. So sales needs to prioritize these. They need to know they come from AI. They need to understand their pre-qualified leads, and they need to say you've got a really strict sales leader, and a lot of them should be strict. There should be discipline in sales. We have a 3-step process ourselves, and say they enforce that. They have to modify their sales process for AI leads. They cannot force them through okay, now we're going to do our PowerPoint, and now we're going to do our discovery meeting, and now I'm going to present you money. And so somehow they have to make it a little quicker because these people, and I love this AI illustration of the salesperson being shocked because the AI lead wants to just close the deal. So a growth flywheel, please. I am from HubSpot. The third-party presence that the marketers create enforces sales get to convert pre-validated AI leads. We get more wins in media and generate earned media. It's a compounding cycle that repeats. And it honestly is. It's longer tail than just going out there and buying Google pay-per-click, but it is definitely what's going to win the day. And then we have our suggestions, and we'll also have these detailed playbooks at the end. If you wanted to make an impression on somebody in 4 weeks, what would you do? Like if you had a new client and you're like, something about this is not right. You know, I think they suck in this category. So you would audit the AI visibility, and you can do easy audits and be able to tell them, what does AI say about them? When you put in a prompt in your industry, do you even come up? What competitors come up? What does it say about the competitors? You can then, within a week or two, you can get them to launch a review collection process. It's almost shocking how many people do not collect reviews and do not have reviews on their sites and do not have case studies on their site. So if they're missing that 101, you have to get them to start doing that. You can identify any type of target publication if there's associations in their business. They're dying for content and they can easily be exploited. You can register for events. You can shift the budget if they've been all in on paid and they're doing a bad job with paid, like 95% of the people are. You shift the budget out of paid a little bit, optimize the paid, of course, and then shift it into other types of paid that you can do with these third-party publications. And then also start working on the AEO, and that takes a little bit of dev and a little bit of brains, but you can do it and get Schema on their site and get open FAQs and get open content on their site. And then finally, you can submit speaking pitches and train sales on the third-party proof they need to be using, case studies and testimonials, and the importance of AI leads. So it could be done pretty quickly, and you can at least give them hope.
Yep.
Are you reliable?
Yes, I am absolutely going to share these slides. So we're at the end, actually. So the window is closing, but I think 2026 is the year. I think we're all early, and you may not believe me, but I think just being aware of this and aware of what you can do, the window, you guys can make a difference with your clients right now. You have multiple clients. You could help them with this stuff right now. And the first movers will own the AI recommendations. So I have a lot of faith that we're a little bit early. We think all we hear is AI all day, but we're early.
Yep.
So that's it. And that's the QR code. So you'll get the slides, you'll get the playbooks, and you'll get a special offer from Orange Marketing. We do HubSpot, and we will, if you wander across a HubSpot company, and generally the HubSpot's a big fat mess, we're happy to go in and audit for you for free. We charge for that. We've hardly ever given it away, but we would do it for you guys. And
Companies using HubSpot.
we audit their HubSpot to see how crappy it is.
Okay.
And then we give recommendations. And then we'll give you 10% off of our published prices on our website. So you'll get 2 emails, one with all this material and one with a special offer. And someday you'll wander across a HubSpot company and you'll need a little help.